Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 106 of the Battleship Brawl Season 3 tournament. Got another new challenger battle today, which, obviously the Heavy Wood 3, already seen that, so it's not the new challenger. That's by Shot by Gun. No, what we have here is the CTRS Kendall by Captain Cleater, who will be the new challenger in today's battle. Let's go ahead and get this underway, as neither vessel is up for retirement no matter how this battle goes. Kendall fires first. Heavywood answering shortly after and dodging those shells just barely. The Kendall eats the first ball. He takes a couple hits, but it looks like it only took damage to its secondaries there. The Kendall's actually a pretty nice looking ship. Couldn't really tell when it started out because it was, partly under the water, but I like the way it looks. It's blasting in. Oh yeah, see, these guns are doing a lot more damage, initial damage, to the Heavywood than the Arkansas did. They're hitting pretty hard. Kendall seems to have a pretty decent armor scheme too. It's not taking much in the way of damage, though it did lose one of its turrets back there, or up there. That's the front. And it is a very close match so far. Both ships in the 96% range. Kendall just took some hits to its superstructure. No big deal. It can fight without those. Heavywood took a hit. Doesn't seem to care. It's like, yeah, its armor's getting peeled away bit by bit, but neither vessel really doing all that much damage to the other. So far, the battle has stayed squarely within draw territory the whole time. Ooh, but that turret just took a hit. Looks like it survived though and didn't pop. I don't know if that barrel is still functional or not though. Oh, probably won't be after that. Oh, well, it reloaded, but it's not firing. Huh. That's interesting. How does that happen? How can it be aiming and reloaded but not firing? There's probably some really obvious answer that I'm just derping hard and missing. Yeah, the Kendall hasn't taken a whole lot of damage, but what damage it has taken has been to its firepower, which is unfortunate. That's definitely not what you want to have happen in a battle like this. But the Kendall is pulling ahead bit by bit. 3.2% difference. Still draw territory, but it's a much farther apart battle than it was a few minutes ago. And these ranges, both vessels are doing some minor maneuvers, easily dodging each other's shells. Wow, that heavy wood can really turn. Has a very nice turning radius. It's serving it well at these fighting ranges. It is constantly turning. It's doing a serpentine, making it impossible for the Kendall to land a shot. That range is getting pretty far out there. The Kendall's going to need to turn around and, stop that distance from opening up too much more, or it's going to start getting disqualification time. Doesn't help that the Kendall's weapons seem to be a little on the low side as far as muzzle velocity go, because they're firing at a very high arc, which makes it even harder to hit a ship at this distance, especially one that turns like the heavy wood. The Heavy wood has evened things back up, 93.4 to 93.3. Very close match. Seems like the Kendall was set up to fight like this, though, to just sort of kite away and rain shells down, plunging fire its enemies, but the heavy wood doesn't seem particularly vulnerable to plunging fire. It's basically an armored cylinder. Well, not cylinder, but you know what I mean. It's an armored hull sloping with guns on top of it. And it keeps turning, zigzagging back and forth, and that is just making it impossible for the Kendall to land a shot. Well, it stayed still long enough for that one. Of course, as soon as I say it's impossible, blam it. Not only does it hit, it pops a turret. But I mean, the Kendall isn't exactly getting hit much either. It is getting hit, but it seems like it was mostly in the superstructure up here. That's what's been blown off. Very tight battle. Both ships are doing some repairs too. I wonder if this gun will be able to be brought back online. It looks like the repair bots are working on it, trying to get it fixed. There's quite a lot of distance between these two. The heavy wood is just not fast enough, it seems. The Kendall was able to dictate the range and the circumstances of the engagement by being faster and more maneuverable. Well, maybe not more maneuverable, but definitely faster. But with the Kendall, or the heavy wood, I mean, doing his zigzag, it doesn't really matter that the Kendall is in its preferred position because it can't land shells consistently. It can't even land them, you know, frequently or infrequently. They occasionally land a shot. And like those were fired in the middle of a turn by the Kendall. So, yep, they fell short. Ooh, looks like the Kendall just took a hit somewhere. It was towards the center. Yeah, just blowing off those superstructure blocks. Which, I mean, in as close a match as this, getting hit point difference is definitely useful. If you can't kill the ship, blow it up enough that you win by hit points when the timer runs out. That means you gotta blow up blocks that are not important to the efficiency of the vehicle's combat efficiency. Yeah, words, how do they work, right? What I'm trying to say is if you win by destroying the superstructure, it's still a win. There. That's all I was trying to say. Yeah, the only downside to this serpentine motion is these rear turrets have to sit there and swing back and forth. And it doesn't even look like they're going to get a chance to fire this time before they're forced to swing it back around the other way. I'm really interested in how the heavy wood was set up to do that serpentining, because that is very effective at these ranges, at least. Close range, you'd still get hit quite frequently, but they're pretty far apart. And that is causing the accuracy of both vessels to suffer. There were some good hits into the side of the Kendall there. Oh, it looks like that front cannon may have finally been disabled by those hits. Yep. The Kendall now behind enough that if the battle were to end right now, it would end in a victory for the heavy wood. Not by much, but a win's a win. It doesn't matter by how much. But those turrets on the heavy wood are pretty exposed, and pretty fragile. Like if a shell were to land right here in this neck, it would that turret would get blown off, and that would be a huge swing in hit points and completely change the game again. Man, they have got to be like right at the edge of the maximum range sometimes. They're pretty far apart. And the Kendall's just been controlling the engagement the whole time. If that very front cannon hadn't gotten hit early on in the fight, we might have had a completely different match here. But oh, it's actually closed back up. It's only a 4.2% match now. So it is within draw territory again. Both ships repairing away furiously, trying to pummel one another. And see these guns keep getting these rear cannons keep getting stuck facing the wrong way because of the serpentining. See now the front one is turning, so it's going to be facing the wrong way as the ship is turning to make that way the wrong way. Ah, that's an unfortunate circumstance of that. And now it's trying to come back around again, and the ship is turning again and bringing the Kendall out of its firing arc. Oh, wow! The bow of the Kendall has been hit pretty hard, and those blocks getting knocked off has once again put the heavy wood in the lead, ahead by 7.3% now, 7.4%. Actually 6.4 now. It took some damage. But that's enough to claim a win for the heavy wood. But really all the Kendall has to do is land one shell on a turret and it'll be back in draw territory again probably. Kendall's having trouble landing shells, let alone landing them on a turret. Kendall is just bound and determined to stay away from the heavy wood. Does not want to go anywhere near it. Honestly, if it were to get right up in the heavy wood's face and force it to brawl it out, it would probably do better because the heavy wood's weapons are much more exposed and easy to destroy. But, you know, you can't predict everything. I think this battle's going to go the distance, folks. All the way to the 15-minute mark. I don't think either vessel's going to manage to sink the other before the next 2 minutes pass. The only question is whether or not the heavy wood can hold on to the lead that it has. timer, there has to be a 5% difference in hit points or the battle is considered a draw. Oh, the Kendall actually got 10 seconds of disqualification time there. It finally got too far out. And now it decides to turn around and come back in. I think it might be a little bit too little too late. I mean, if it can pop off a couple of those turrets in the next couple of minutes, it can at least eke out a draw. But it's got 45 seconds. .1% difference right now. Oh, and the Kendall's turning back out. Ooh, those shows. Oh, that one connected, but nope. Does not look like it. And time. So, yep, that is a 6.5% difference. That is enough for the Heavywood to claim victory here. So, congratulations, Shot by Gun. You have defeated the Kendall in this battle. And like I said, I think if the Kendall hadn't lost this very forward gun, like in the first volley, or if it had tried to brawl instead of kiting away like it was, it could have very well won this match, but that's not what happened, so it didn't. So yeah, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.